Welcome to New Knives, everybody. Today is May 20th, 2024, and we've got a big pile of new stuff. And I'm especially excited to tell you we have a fair amount of budget-friendly stuff on the table today, which is always exciting. We see a lot of premium stuff here at Blade HQ. We kind of specialize in the premium, but today we got to sort of treat you guys who are on a budget. And we're going to start that off with, actually, I got to tell you about some stuff we're doing. Right now we're doing a pre-summer sale, and that includes this patch with all orders over $85. It's a duck holding knives. And I'm willing to bet that none of you have ever woken up today and thought, ever woken up in a day in your life and thought, I really hope I don't see a duck holding a knife today. I certainly have never thought that. So if you are like me and you're interested in a duck holding knives on your pack, on the roof of your car or wherever, then we have these for all orders over $85 while supplies last. In addition, we are doing some giveaways with Gerber this week, and that is what these pots are all about. So we have different giveaway packages you can win. You can enter on Friday starting there. These are collaborations with Gerber, and all of them will include some camp stuff that has this camp cookware kit, which honestly is quite substantial for its weight. Like these don't bend, but they feel really light. So I probably still wouldn't backpack with them. Let's see, we got some bowls, some nice texturing on the bottom, like a big salad bowl, plates. It's fun. I'm kind of excited to see the knife companies branching out into cookware, because if there's one thing that we all need, it's food. So if you want to win stuff like this, as well as Gerber knives, we have a giveaway running on Instagram starting on Friday. So head over there. You'll find all the instructions you need to in any associated posts. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into some knives, starting with the Reate EXO-U. So the EXO kind of took the knife world by storm a couple of years ago because it came out and it is just the most intriguing gravity knife. The whole rail drops out and then you can gravity it in, pull it back up. And these ones have these cool magnetic locks, so it'll just stay. But this one, unlike all other EXOs before it, has two things. It's first, this is aluminum instead of titanium, which not only keeps the weight down, but it keeps the price down quite a bit too. These are going for $77.95 and they are flying. So if you like these, I'd pick them up fast, but don't worry too much, we do have restocks on the way. And what I really like here is what's going on up here. I am a sucker for a compliant mechanism. For those of you who are unaware of what a compliant mechanism is, it's something that bends instead of having a pivot point in multiple parts. That requires no lubrication, it requires a whole lot less parts wear and all that. And the way you do that is you just push down here and let that spring compress, replace the blade, swap it out, and then you just put this thing back in, snap it into place. You've got yourself a new knife, and it actually holds in quite solid, all things considered. Yep, very nice. Reversible pocket clip, and it comes in a billion different flavors of color, as well as texture. This one's the frag, and then over here on this purple one, we have what they're calling the speed holes. I think I like the speed holes, and honestly, if this were my knife, I think I'd just ditch the pocket clip and carry this in the pocket, sort of like a fidget toy. Ditch the blade if you're ever gonna fly somewhere, but man, what a slick little knife. Very exciting indeed. So those ones are going fast, but they're also $78 on BladeHQ.com. So check those out if you are interested in gravity knives. They will be back if they are out of stock now. Next up from Kansept, we have some new variants of the Little Main Street. So these ones are the crossbar lock versions. Very fun. This one, I thought it was titanium when I first picked it up, and I thought that's a little light to be titanium. This is actually blue anodized aluminum 154 cm blade. And in addition, we also have this sort of G-Mascus version, and I think this just looks really good. And then it has a 154 cm blade as well. These are going for $67.89. So there's a knife I've had my eye on for a while now called the Benchmade Immunity. I really do like those. They feel good in the hand. I love M4 blade steel, but they kind of are a little bit pricey for their size. And I'm sorry, sometimes I pick up a knife that is small, and I think I just gotta go budget friendly on this. And that's how I felt with the Kansept Mini, the Little Main Street. And to me, this sort of feels like a budget friendly alternative to that Immunity. So this one, you still get the aluminum handle like the Immunity has. We get 154 cm, which isn't gonna have quite the edge retention of the M4. And it's made in China instead of made in the USA. But it's still a great knife nonetheless. It's gonna offer you a lot of the same functionality, but for 70 bucks. Not too bad at all. Next up from Jack Wolf, the most expensive knife on the table, is the Mini Cyborg Jack. And this one, so Jack Wolf, they make modern traditionals, and they make very modern traditionals. Usually an S90V blade, titanium bolsters, and then some fancy exotic material. This one looks to be a fat carbon of some form. But this design, like, it looks like it's reminiscent of an old school, maybe like a sow belly style handle, but it looks super modern too. And I think that's just what Jack Wolf is so good at, is taking something that is old and classic, but making it new and beautiful and suitable for modern knife shoppers. Very nice indeed. I also love that we have Torx hardware on this, and the walk and talk on these is very good. The half stop hits hard. Yeah, Jack Wolf, keep up the good work. Those are going for $300, $299.99. Next up, we have QSP, who has the new Vault. And I'll tell you, this knife is something that kind of took me by surprise because it is a Lundquist design, but it is not a Justin Lundquist design. It is a Jacob Lundquist design. I don't know if there's any relation there. However, I do kind of see some similar design language there. We have very clean lines, a very usable blade shape, and I know that Justin has a lot of relationships with Kansept as well. So maybe there's some relation there, maybe it's just a coincidence, but either way, Jacob Lundquist, what a knife. So what I love about this is in the, like, back here, you got full 4 fingers, but then you can choke up, and the choil is far enough back that you land mostly on the handle. So it's sort of like you get the shorter length of the handle, but when you open it and you wrap your finger around, the back of my finger and my index right here are all on the handle. So I'm not grabbing blade, I'm grabbing handle even when I'm choked up into the choil. Very well done. This one has a 14C28N blade. This one's got the micarta handle. These go for $86. That's a lot of knife for 86 bucks, I'll tell you. Next up from QSP, we have the Unicorn. This one's a button lock that has a standard blade, so it has no bend in the spine. It just rests completely against the table there. And I appreciate those because it gives you a good section of straight, but because there's no drop involved, you get a very deep belly here, which makes it great for slicing against the table or something. So if you're like cooking something, got a cutting board or opening a box, you have a lot of rock there. Mince some garlic. It's a nice slim blade too. This one's also 14C28N. This one's the black G10 with the purple underneath. However, there is one that has a black blade, the black G10, and then green underneath, and it gives me some serious old school Xbox vibes. And, you know, how many of us don't have a wonderful, joyous memory of a Halo LAN party on one of those things? Anyway, this is the Petrified Fish Unicorn. These are going for $69. Next up, we have 4 new knives from Petrified Fish, starting with the magazine. And this knife, I saw it and it looked smaller than it was. This is a 3.75-inch blade. It's a big knife. Got lots of handle real estate, and I like what they did here with these finger grooves. They're there, but they're not like, they don't force your hand into a certain position. It gives you a little bit of extra grip when you're in there, but like if you land on it imperfectly or if you're going backwards, you're still gonna notice it just not at all. Like it's just a good handle. Very nicely done. A nice thick handle too. Most of the time with folders, we see less than ½ an inch, but this is like a beefy. This knife wants to go to work. If you put it back this way, you get some really nice lever grips and cuts that way if you're doing ropes or something. Very nice indeed. I want to say this is a D2 blade micarta handle, $37.99. So Petrified Fish, those are some really great prices. Next up, we have the El Camino. When I hear El Camino, I just think of the car, and what a cute little truck it was. But the El Camino is a cool knife indeed. This one has a bit more of a back sweep in the blade. Let's see if it actually, yep, you might be able to see it come off a little bit right there. And that, once again, it makes it great for cutting against a table. That is something that a lot of folders are not necessarily designed for. They think this is for cutting ropes and zip ties and other stuff in your hands. But a lot of the time when we're cutting, we are against a surface. And that's why I love some sheep's foots like this one. Sheep's feet blades. They just bite the table, they rock, they can do a lot of work against a table, which is a lot of the work we do. This one's a micarta and D2 as well. This one's going for, I have pricing mixed up. I forget exactly what this price is. Next up, we have the Forward. The Forward is a sort of a different style of knife from Petrified Fish. First of all, look at this grind. It's kind of got this distal taper going on, so you get this grind bevel that comes up as it goes along the way. Makes for a very appealing look. It's a very thin blade. You're gonna get nice and slicey thin up near the edge, but if you're cutting hard, it's gonna be easy back here. I do appreciate that. Read my micarta on this one. It's good looking and it's cheap. I wanna see these go for 30 bucks. Not too bad at all. And then lastly, we have some new variations of the Petrified Fish Hummingbird, which is one of the most unique knives I've seen. I talked about this a little while ago when we had it on for a different video. And look at this, like the entire handle is back here, but then the titanium of the blade of the handle extends way up onto the blade. And that sort of gives you the ability to use this like a pencil, like an X-Acto knife sort of thing. So if you're doing some very precise cuts, but then a titanium handle and an M390 blade. Oftentimes when you use a knife that is so small and for such detail work, it's sort of geared towards like a utility style blade, more like one of these EXO-U's. But it's nice that we can get a titanium frame lock with an M390 blade if that's more your speed. Because you're getting that same precise tip, you're gonna get much better edge retention out of that and the ability to sharpen it and pocket it really easily. So if you're a crafter and you want something premium, I would check out the Petrified Fish Hummingbird. These go for $96.99. Anyway, that is all the new knives we have on the table today. Hope you found something you like. If not, we have thousands of knives at Blade HQ that you can check out. If you like knife content like this, subscribe to Blade HQ's knife channel. If you would like to win the Gerber giveaways, remember Friday, this upcoming Friday, what's that, the 25th, is when it's gonna happen over on Instagram. So make sure you're over there and you can enter the giveaway. And with that, we'll see you next time.